you feel like the lone wolf in your family, just know you're not alone. You're not alone in the feeling of being a lone wolf. You know how I know that? Because the number of people that have clicked on this video have clicked on it because they also feel like they are the lone wolves in their family, in their group of friends, and it's a very common stage of progression. It's a very common stage of personal development. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what I believe will completely transform your life and how you accept yourself, how you understand this process, and how you can stop feeling alone or stop feeling like the lone wolf and start feeling abundant and in a completely new, bold version of you. Now, the first thing I wanted to do with this is to share that for a long time in my own life, I felt like the lone wolf. When I went through my awakening back in 2012, I felt like my friends, my family didn't understand me. I was being this new version of myself that liked meditation. I was into some esoteric teachings I was learning. I was doing mantras. I was like laying out in the sun every day, doing like sun gazing, doing some pretty out there things, especially back in 2012. And my friends and family literally just thought I went nuts. And I then went through a stage of years of just being a lone wolf, of just feeling like people don't get me, people don't understand me. And there were times I questioned just, what is my role here? What am I doing here? What am I like meant to be doing? And why is it that I feel so alone? And I think many times what happens is when we go through a spiritual awakening, we chose to wake up in friend groups and in families with other people that maybe aren't going through a spiritual awakening. And that's with intention, because it's kind of like it's popcorn on the planet and everyone's popping at different moments. But as I've gone through my own spiritual awakening, I've noticed it has not just influenced, but it has almost encouraged other people to go through their own process of evolution. But for a period of time, I felt very alone and I felt like people didn't understand me. I was watching a documentary 2 nights ago on XXXTENTACION. Is that his name? I'm not real familiar. I remember making YouTube videos years ago and people were like, you got to make videos about XXXTENTACION or whatever his name is. And I watched a documentary on this guy, and it was fascinating because this guy, he died years ago when before he was 21 years old, just like Juice WRLD. It's very interesting how these pendulums work, how these people shoot up in fame and energy, but then there's like this energy that kind of like comes crashing down. It's very interesting. But with XXXTENTACION, what I found interesting is his music was all around feeling alone. And he would talk about how alone he felt. He would talk about his anger and his depression, and he would talk about these emotions that he really didn't understand very much, but he would express it out into the world and just how he felt. And what's fascinating is it started a global movement of people around his age and just in general that also felt alone, that also felt singled out, that also felt like maybe they were dealt a bad hand or felt like this in a similar way. And the interesting thing about it is in the multiple millions of people that followed him, and so many of them also claimed, that they didn't commit suicide because of his music. He'd get that all the time, people responding to him and saying things like that. And what I find fascinating is in the recognition of feeling like a lone wolf and feeling alone, there's the realization that so many people feel alone. So you're not alone. You're not alone in the feeling of feeling alone. You're not alone in the feeling of feeling lonely. There are so many other people in the world that feel the same way. So the first thing I want you to know about this is that there's nothing wrong with you. You might feel alone, and so do so many other people. So because of that, just know you're not alone. It's an interesting perspective, but it kind of makes us realize more that we believe so much that we are alone, that we create more and more realizations in our reality of us being alone. But we can realize that so many other people feel the same way. Many people watching this video, if you look below, comment, and just notice how many other people may feel the same way. And it helps us to recognize that we're not, first off. It's more so this belief, and really alone, I think as well, is feeling separated. It's when we feel separated from everyone else because people don't understand us. And when I went through my spiritual awakening in 2012, I literally felt like people just don't get me. I felt separation. I felt like there weren't people in my life that I could really connect to at a soul level and like with depth, you know. It felt like everything was surface level. Even after I went through my awakening, I got that 9-to-5 job working at Barney's, New York, and I would greet customers, hey, how are you? But it was like so surface level. It didn't feel to me like it was that authentic or that deep. And I did, though, however, go through a shift. And I want to explain that shift to you because now I'm surrounded by people that are very similar to me. And I have friends with very deep, like, connections. And I feel very nourished and connected. And I don't feel alone anymore. And I want to share with you what those changes are. Now, also, I wanted to share with you this quote that I read from Carl Jung, who's a psychologist. He talks a lot about shadow work. He said, loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself, or from holding certain views which others find inadmissible. So, think about that. Basically, what that quote is saying is there's almost this level of shame that we have around us being the real us, around us expressing who we really are, that keeps us feeling alone. And for so long, I felt like a weirdo with these studying these spiritual metaphysical ideas. I felt like I couldn't really share them out in the world, and I felt like people didn't get me. But what if, because I was playing small and because I was afraid of sharing these perspectives, that was keeping me alone? That was keeping people from finding me who would actually resonate with me. So in a way, the more we have the courage to express the real us, the more we will find and meet other people that resonate with us at that deep level. So in a way, us feeling alone and us stopping ourselves from giving ourselves permission to be the real us is keeping us alone. So the antidote to this is for us to give ourselves more permission to have the courage to be the real us, to be who we came here to be. Because I will say, once I started making daily videos on YouTube in February 2017, my life radically transformed. Within 6 months, I quit that 9-to-5 job, but also putting myself out there connected me to other people doing what I was doing. I connected to my best friend, Victor, who also makes YouTube videos, and he was somebody that also felt like the lone wolf. And him and I meeting back in 2017 was like so synchronous because we both felt the same way. We were both very grateful to have ourselves as friends that could connect with each other. And it was like this very positive and relationship where eventually him and his whole family moved to Vegas where I was living. And we became best friends, and it was amazing, and it still is amazing. Now we all live in Austin. Took my crew with me from there. Then we all went to Sedona. And then after that, they all came to that of Austin. So it's really cool. But the reason I share this is once I started being the real me and had the courage to really express myself, it then did one of two things. On one hand, it repelled people that wouldn't like me anyways, because then it's kind of polarizing for me to be expressing these ideas. There were friends in high school and other people that I remember unfollowed me on Instagram, thought I was weird, didn't like my perspectives. And there was a part of me that was like, oh, like I feel even more alone. But the thing was, is I wasn't even connected to the people that did unfollow me anyways. So if anything, I made more like mental space and bandwidth for me to connect to these people and to like make room for new people to come in. However, I will say, having the courage and giving yourself permission to more so express the real you will sing the song that you're meant to put out in the world and attract people that have a similar tune. That's how like some birds mate. They sing a song, and then people that, like other birds that sing in harmony with them, meet them. In the same way, feeling alone, it's almost like we're not singing our song. We're just feeling alone. We're feeling like we're in our room. We're feeling like people don't get us. And that feeling itself is what's causing us to feel more lonely. It's almost like, beliefs create our reality. Whatever we believe to be true is being reflected back to us. And it's like, because we believe we're stuck, or because we believe we're alone, we then literally block ourselves from meeting people. We literally create that reality over and over again until we become aware of that belief. And for me, that belief served me for a period of time because it helped me feel like it explained things. Oh, I'm just a lone wolf. People just don't get me. But it kept me in that box. I remember when I was going through that awakening, one thing I justified is people don't get me. Look at all these people that are asleep, that don't know they're eternal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences, that are lost in the matrix, that are watching the media and doing all these things. They don't know who they really are. And I would feel that way, but guess what? That belief and that focus on separation would have it very hard for me to connect with people. Well, I felt very alone. And I felt like it was hard to connect. I'd meet people and I'd be in my mind immediately, I'd be well, they're not like me. And I'd come up with all these things that would become energetic blocks to me actually connecting with people. One thing I realized though is as I dropped those barriers, as I dropped those blocks of judgment, I then could connect with people at a deeper level. Even if it wasn't the most deep spiritual connection, it was I'd feel less alone. And sometimes we believe so much in our feeling of loneliness and of being the lone wolf, and we create an identity around that because it explains things. I am the lone wolf. I don't need anybody else. However, at the same time, I believe we came here to have connection with other people. We came here to feel connected. We came here to meet other amazing high vibe people that are similar to your tune, to your energy, to your magnetic frequency. And there's people that would resonate with you and do, but all you got to do is let go of that identity. Let go of the belief that you are the lone wolf. And understand that at the same time, the more you speak and become the real you, doesn't mean you have to make YouTube videos. Some of you watch this may Aaron, you make YouTube videos, so maybe that puts you in the public eye to meet other people. But I will tell you that you being in the frequency of the real you, even if it's a job that you don't think you deserve, but you really want to do it, and you start being in that frequency, you will meet other people that resonate with that frequency. It's an energy I'm talking about here, not like a tactic of being online. When you are in the ideal frequency and you are following your passion, you are much more likely to meet people that will actually resonate with you. One other thing I wanted to mention as well on this thread is this is maybe more of a metaphysical belief, but I believe that we're all eternal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences, and that we all have the spiritual guides that are with us at all times. We have different aspects of consciousness that we might not be aware of that are here right now with us. So in a way, even though physically we can only see, oh, no one's around, but really there are energies and there are if you tap within, I think there's a feeling where we don't feel connected to an aspect of ourself that we're neglecting, that's then causing us to feel alone. But the more we can then accept ourselves and accept even feeling lonely or even alone, and realize the difference between lonely and alone is very different. Lonely is a negative belief on alone, is a negative meaning. Alone doesn't have to feel lonely. I could be alone right now in my house and feel very happy. But you don't necessarily think of feeling lonely at your house and feeling happy. So it's almost like lonely is an degree of a certain meaning. And because of that, things in life we can change the meaning to. You might even have a cat or a dog around you right now. How many of you have a cat or a dog around you? Comment below, because then you realize I'm really not alone, We just think we're alone, we believe it, and therefore we create that experience over and over again. Now, one of the things that will help us more than anything else is really building our sense of confidence and courage to express ourselves out in the world. And one of the most powerful ways you can shift into this more confident you could be to go through a 21-day process of meeting with people all over the world, being a part of Zoom coaching calls, going through processes of transformation to release doubt, to release insecurity, to release and remove the fear that you might have around this lone wolf or around this feeling of separation, to really start to trust yourself again, because confidence means trust. The word confidere means the Latin word trust, and we're learning to trust ourselves, we're learning to trust the universe. And if you want to be a part of this 21-day confidence challenge, it's one of the most powerful things that I do, is these live transformational experiences. You could check it out by going to www.confidencelovechallenge.com or click the link in the top of the description box below and read some of the testimonials from past challenges just to see how powerful they can be and how transformative they can be. And you know, this is different than just watching YouTube videos passively. This is about things you actually do in a community with people just like you that will show you, hey, I'm not alone. And what happens is through doing these different things, you realize not only am I not alone, but you transform yourself because you're doing things that transform, not just thinking about things or watching videos passively. So if you want to become a more magnetic you, a more confident you in 21 days or less starting on July 1st to the 21st, go to confidencelovechallenge.com or click the link below. And then also, if you feel like the lone wolf in your family and you want to transform that from the inside out from a completely new perspective, check this video out right here. You are meant to be here. You can take it as a good sign that you probably are and consider yourself the lone wolf in your family. And I'm going to show you in this video how you can finally meet your soul tribe, how you can release the beliefs and the energy that is literally blocking them from coming into your life,